AI has officially killed 90% of QA jobs.
That's the title of this post right here that some random QA sensei posted in order to get viral content. And while some of the wording from his post made sense, the situation is quite different, especially if we compare QA markets of 2025, 2024, 23, and even 2022, which was quite amazing in my opinion, because a lot of us got remote job offers and some of us got 2 to 3 job offers. And on this video, I will share with you what is 2026 QA as that QA automation, QA ninja market looks like and what to expect based on my personal market research analytics that I will show you in a moment. But before we get into it, let me quickly introduce myself in case you're new here. My name is Sergey Kromchenko and I'm a software QA engineer, lead manager, and a senior engineering manager of SDAT in the past, but these days I'm helping people like you, or like this 40+ years young girl right here, or this 18 years old guy right here, to become a QA engineer from scratch or to improve your existing skills. And now we actually help people to become machine learning engineers as well. Anyways, let's get started. Oh, you actually forgot to hit this big fat thumb up button below. Now let's get started. We're all here to see what's gonna happen with the QA market in 2026. While no one knows the future, I can definitely show you the trajectory where QA market is going to based on all the analytics that I'm about to show you. And I'm going to start with probably the most important one. We're going to start with the amount of layoffs we had in the past, couple of years ago, last year, and what it's going to look like this year. So let's kick it off. As you can see right here, in 2023, we had 264,000 tech layoffs in a tech market. Not QA, not devs, all together. Every single one, even including tech support. 264,000. That's official data from Layoffs FYI. The best place to find the amount of layoffs each year, each company, etc. And let's take a look at 2024. What happened next year? In 2024, as you can see, it got much better. And here's one of the reasons why. Definitely not the only, but one of the reasons. In 2023, when ChatGPT started gaining traction and all of the AIs and LLMs started to getting a lot of traction, a lot of companies started to laying people off and trying to replace them with AI as quickly as possible so they would be the first companies on the market to save millions and billions of dollars. And unfortunately, they have failed significantly, as you can see right here. So next year, they started rehiring process and many more companies did lay off less people as they did last year. But 2025 looks much better, as you can see right here. In 2025, we had only 123,000 layoffs in the world of tech. So based on this trajectory, starting from 2023, 2024, 2025, we have less and less layoffs. And I think this is a good time for us to switch to the amount of jobs in the world of QA as of right now in 2026. And while we're talking about QA and how AI is eating the market, I wanted to tell you guys that recently we've started our machine learning course, actually job training, not even a course, where you will learn theory, where you will get actual internship in a US-based, or if you're in Europe, European-based startup, and the interview preparation that will get you a job. Just like this girl got a job offer right after she finished our course. Anyways, if you're interested, the link is right below this video. Let's continue. What does the current market ratio look like between manual QA and QA automation engineer positions? Now, let's take a look at the amount of jobs on the market, and we're going to be using Indeed in order to find them. So first of all, I'm going to be searching for QA engineer in the United States only. And while we're searching for a QA engineer position, we have 8,000 plus jobs on the market right now. And while it looks good and somewhat realistic, let's scroll down and verify that these are actual QA engineer. QA tester, remote, so definitely software engineering job. Software engineer, that's definitely not a QA position. So it's a software engineer. Probably they did put a word QA there. So as you can see, some of them will not be. So how can we verify that all of these positions will include QA and not just software engineers? Let's try to search for QA engineer. Hard-coded. When we hard-code it, and by hard-code, I mean we're looking for exact match, QA engineer. Not a software QA, not a QA tester. By the way, you just saw that before this, what a QA tester job. So we have 1,000 job openings right now in the United States for software QA engineer position only, as you can see. Entry-level software tester, QA automation, quality assurance engineer, etc. So these are pure QA jobs. But we have SDET jobs, we have QA automation engineer jobs, not QA jobs. So in order to look for QA, let's try to look for QA word only. 90,000 plus, this is too many. We went from 1,000 to 90. But QA could be hardware QA, right? Could be quality assurance, quality control. So let's say software next to it. So we would look for software and for QA as well. 19,000 jobs. Let's try to improve it even more. Even though not every position will say engineer, some they will say tester, let's try to look for software QA engineer. And we're coming back to 7,000 plus jobs. So based on these analytics, I can definitely say that we have approximately between 7,000 and 10,000 job openings for QA engineers in the United States as of right now. Why do I say 10? Why not 7? How come it's not 1,000? Number one, based on our research, we see the majority of jobs are QAs, and within the several searches, we had between 1 and 90,000, but most of them were 7, 8, and 10, right? Cool. Also, LinkedIn will have jobs that Indeed does not include. Glassdoor will have jobs that Indeed does not include. And Indeed will have jobs that LinkedIn does not include. Just FYI, guys. One of our students got a job offer at Apple that he found on Indeed, and that job listing or posting was not on LinkedIn. So, just FYI. But so far, so good in my opinion, with approximately 10,000 job openings on the US market. And remember, there are SDETs, there are STETs, such as software testing engineer or software engineer in test, software development engineer in test. On one hand, we have manual QA, which will never die because we always have to test things manually, right? It's impossible to fully automate manual testing, no matter what any senseis, gurus, QA, AI engineers say. It's literally impossible. And that's exactly why manual will always be there. But the amount of jobs on the manual side of the market right now equals to approximately 15 to 20% only. While on the other hand, we have automation, which takes 80%. And no matter how hard we try to get a job as the manual QA, right now it's going to be very challenging. We do have students from our bootcamp who did get a job offer as the manual QA engineer, but in most cases, whenever you go for manual QA position, they will still ask you some questions about QA automation. Because nowadays, they're choosing someone who could possibly know automation just for future, because one day we're planning to write test automation. Not now, we don't have capacity for it, but we want to hire you with the salary of the manual QA, and we want you to do automation in the future, or at least know how to do it. So if you're going to be choosing between going for manual QA or automation as you're beginning with your tech career, I would highly recommend you to learn manual and learn automation as well. Because in order to get job, no matter which, you still have to know manual, and looks like you have to know automation as well. A lot of you guys did ask in Instagram right here, in Telegram right here, or on this YouTube channel, what is the most demanded tool on a QA automation market right now, or in the world of SDETs. And honestly speaking, in our bootcamp, we've been teaching Cypress for several years. Until half a year ago, Playwright has officially surpassed Cypress by the amount of jobs on the market. And these days, Playwright is literally skyrocketing. Selenium is still in demand. Some older generation companies are still using it because they have a legacy code, they have thousands of tests. But whenever there is a new company or a new project within a company that's using Selenium, they will very likely, I would say in approximately 75% of cases, switch from Selenium to Playwright and from Cypress to Playwright. And by the way, if you guys are interested, I got a video for you right here. How can you easily or automatically switch from one tool to the other tool with help of AI? But a lot of you will say, what about AI? It should be the most demanded tool in the market. While AI is hyping, a lot of companies are starting to use AI agents. And by the way, Playwright several months ago did come up with 3 Playwright agents, such as Planner, Generator, and Healer, to plan out automation testing, to generate tests, and to heal tests in case they break. And as soon as they came up with those 3 agents, we did implement them into our Codify bootcamp. And nowadays, whenever our students go for test automation interview, within 40% of all the test automation interviews that they go through, they did ask about AI agents. And usually interviewers are getting very excited whenever they hear that people have already been using Playwright AI agents, because Playwright came up with those or officially released those just about 2 to 3 months ago. And people have already been implementing them and using them in their frameworks. And by the way, guys, if you will ever need help in learning them or upgrading your skills to test automation, you can simply navigate to codify.com or follow the link right below this video to schedule one-on-one with me. All right, let's continue. Now, it's a time to talk about money and exact analytics of each job offer that our students or our graduates did receive within the last 2 months. So let's get started. The last position that our student got was in Florida, and that was a hybrid type of position. And that person was insanely, not lucky, but she deserved it. She got $150,000 job offer as that manager. She did have experience in the past. She was laid off. She went through QA automation course to improve her skills. She learned Playwright, Playwright agents, etc. And then she got it. How long did it take her after the graduation to get that offer? 0.5, which means she finished the course 2 weeks ago and she got the job offer, verbal job offer, a couple of days ago, before this recording. And job offer received, so she got a verbal one, and I'm actually running a little bit ahead of time because she did not get the physical job offer, but only verbal one. But our previous offer was received on December 15th. And for that one, it took 1 month to get the job offer, and that was only $80,000. But while we say only $80,000, it's a fully remote position, and it's actually in Canada. So $80,000 in Canada is quite much more than $80,000 in the United States of America, which I would consider not a bad offer at all, in my opinion. Next one, Illinois, and this is one of the world's largest furniture companies in the world. Remote position, $45 an hour, mobile and web. That position was received on December 3rd. Right before that, we had on November 15th, mobile QA position. I believe this one is manual only, $90,000, mobile QA, remote. Not bad. It's in a health tech. The company is located in Florida, but it doesn't really matter because it's all remote. And as you guys can see, majority of jobs are remote. But let me quickly tell you about 2 more offers that you will love. California, and Brazil. I wanted to talk about 3 of these. Each of them is remote, as you can see right here. One was $115,000, $120,000, and the last one, the guy did not share his digit, but that was in Brazil. And I think all of them were automation, and it was specified right here. But the biggest thing here is those offers were received on November 10th, 3rd, and October 30th. And I want to show you guys this screenshot right here, where one of our students who did get a job offer told me, congratulations with my birthday, which was a couple of months ago, or a few months ago, on October 30th. And he said he got a job offer that same day, which I was super glad to hear because it made me feel even better that he got a job offer directly from Amazon. Now, you guys let me know, how do these job offers look like to you in terms of how much money have been received and in terms of type of position, plus how long it took people to get a job, because it looks like very insignificant amount of time for December, November, and October, and that's quite a few job offers, isn't it?